Good evening, y'all. I'm Vam, closing out pop-ups because I don't care about the pop-ups. Hey, Wolf. And yeah, let's get back to finishing the main story. Hopefully, maybe. I'm not 100% sure how much further I have. I feel like I'm getting close-ish to the end. Oh, I promise. We will discuss the Void Gate further, but first I must attend to the matter of the Vault City. As your instruments have no doubt informed you, the capital has been reduced to so much scrap. Please bring a new one out of storage and see that it is conveyed to its post along with some few lesser constructs. Was it tomb robbers? Fiends born of the Tower of Zot? By the sisters, do tell me a blasphemy yet roams free. Uh, I don't know. Huh. Man, it's crazy how that happened. That's so wild. Huh. Yes. I wonder. I love how we were all just like, uh, man, this is a really nice place. Why such guilty faces? Surely it isn't you who are responsible for this? Oh. Well, the details aren't important. I shall see it done immediately. Hey, what up, Gamma? And with that, the vault will soon be secure once more. Now, I believe you had questions. Quite a few, in fact. But I'd like to begin with the gate itself. It is still functional, yes? Indeed. Which is why I saw it sealed with an alchemical forged lock and warded warded it with my magics. Such power must not fall into the wrong hands. In truth, the primary reasons for the vault's construction was to keep the gate hidden from the outside world. So much effort for such a little door. That little door you speak of leads to an abyss teeming with unspeakable horrors. That said, in its current state, it would emit only the lowliest of void sin, and from this side, no man would be able to pass through. No man. I should think Alphino would fit, given a firm enough push. You're a little door. Physical size, physical size is only one consideration. The true restriction hinges upon the etheric density of the soul in transit. And yet you succeeded in expanding the diminutive portal to sending your silicon to the 13th. Thanks to my brilliant alchemist, I should have destroyed the abnormality when I found it, but instead I bade them devise a means to control it. After much experimentation, they accomplished the impossible. A method was conceived by which my magics could manipulate the fissure and transform it into a serviceable gate. But the process has long been forgotten. Once I had given up searching for Agidol, there was no need to preserve such esoteric and dangerous knowledge. Thus has the gate lain dormant for years uncounted. Our own passage to the 13th was made relatively simple thanks to the Crystal Tower. An ancient mechanism channeled the tower's vast stores of energy to open a void gate, one bound to a covenant made with the Cloud of Darkness. Once that sovereign entity was beaten back, however, the covenant was broken, and the doorway severed from its connection to the void. Hi!
Am I not supposed to be back
No,
here?
you just rushed in. I was like,
That's because I'm fighting off the horde of fur babies that want to come in.
I was like, did something happen?
No, I just need to use my computer and the horde was after me. Yes, the horde. 10,000 orcs and an owlbear.
Theoretically, it should be possible to reconnect the gate by forging a new pact with another Void Sin, but those deals usually end in betrayal and death. In any case, we should attempt to gain an understanding of the Bounty Gate. Perhaps you could resume the search for your sister. As I have already explained, I put those futile hopes to rest centuries ago. My place and my duty is here now. Ah, I had meant to ask, what prompted you to search for the vault in the first place? Yes, Gamma. One owlbear chased Curly into the computer room.
That's...
And a horde of orcs.
Ah!
But one didn't get it.
Baby owlbear managed to get in the room. It's cute, but it's...
To see if the legends were true. I mean, that's why we did it. Yeah, it's totally the reason. As you have seen, the fabulous wealth from the stories is quite real, if not its rumored origin, but I'm afraid I must assert a prior claim. Gamma asked why you went Russian Tim the Toolman.
Huh? Russian Tim the Toolman?
Apparently.
Like a Russian? Like I'm rushing very quickly. I have so many questions.
I've been adding to that trope for years, little by little, but the time has come to spend it, that I might alleviate my people's suffering. Then we are of one mind. We had no intentions of taking it for ourselves. Isn't that right, my friend? Your Excellency, would you object if I were to conduct a closer examination of the gate? I will make no attempt to open it, of course. I owe you and yours a debt that can never be repaid. Whatever boon you ask of me, you shall have it. You are most gracious. I shall take full advantage of your permission. Would that I could join thee in thy study, but the Lawler Prince will be anxious to receive my report. I beg my leave of you. And I must be off to Charlian as well. Mistress Crowd was eager to speak with you about that request, so please come back to the Annex as soon as you are able. Farewell for now. Yes, Graha does have red eyes. We can discuss my finding once I return. You will not be rid of me so easily. I like Graha's red eyes. You may now undertake the Chronicles of a New Era quest series, Myths of the Realm. Speak with fresh-faced students at the Baldessian Annex to accept the first quest. Oh. The difficult part in all this will be deciding how to best to put these riches to use. Will you lend me your assistance in these deliberations? Of course. Thank you. Vamron and I are in this together. I will follow his example. Meanwhile, elsewhere, that's what I think it is.
What?
What?
Spoiler.
Oh yeah, super spoilers.
I mean, to be fair, it's gonna be so long before I make it here that I'm gonna completely forget all this shit.
I sensed the breaching of a gate, but it was not instant from this side. It was thrown open from the other. I too felt it. A rare occurrence, yes, but such a tiny portal is beneath our notice. There are more pressing matters at hand. An opportunity is upon us, the coming of which we have awaited for nigh on 10,000 years. We dare not let it slip our grasp. Yet we must not underestimate he who bested the cloud of darkness. Even restrained by a covenant, the cloud was no feeble wisp to be dispersed by some flesh and blood mortal. Bah, let them come. I will drown the world and watch this fleshling gasp for breath in his final moments.
Well, that seems excessive.
Your zeal is admirable, but forget not our cause. Think back on our struggle beneath the sunless sky. Remember why we cede not our will to fight. Tis time we set the war in motion and win redemption for our star. Ooh. Shall we begin? If we are to spend these treasures wisely, then we must first determine which group will benefit most from monastery assistance. Some of my citizens may find it intimidating to speak with the satrap directly, so I would ask that you act in my stead. Vamron, you are to visit Akali and Yadomal. Speak to Matsi and his people, and listen to their grievances. Estinian, I bid you do the same at Palakistan. I will be conducting my own inquiries at the Giant Skull grounds. Once you believe you have ascertained the needs of the populace, we can reconvene at Megalodon. Right, Gamma. Just Oh, Vamron, I was so glad to see you had returned unharmed. You finished with the boat, then? Anything the village desperately needs? Well, I suppose Cowell's loss hit us the hardest. I've been trying to find buyers for my fish, but although I sell a few here and there, it's so much more difficult than it was before. Everyone's still struggling to rebuild their lives. For now, we're just banding together as best we can. Did you kill a dragon yesterday, Gamma? Or rather, did you kill a dragon today, Gamma?
Did you kill a Dargon?
Nice.
Is that like a euphemism for his manly bits?
Greetings and welcome, travelers. If this is your first visit to Vamir, then you must try my special Armalasi. Its refreshing zest cannot be beat. What could such a wonder cost, you wonder? Normally, I part with 3 bottles for the generous price of 19,800 gil. Well, for you,
Is that all?
I am willing to go as low as an even 10,000. You'd be practically stealing from me. I am not Estinian. Estinian? Who is this? You're the ones who was with that spear-toting fellow. Well, you can hardly blame a man for trying. The world may no longer be on fire, but we are still sifting through the ashes, so to speak. Sister, spare me. We might as well have the ugly tower back for the scant few travelers we see these days. I myself barely have the coin to buy at local prices. I tell you, if I didn't charge the odd adventurer a small fortune for afternoon tea, I'd be scavenging for scraps in the street. Ah, Papanada. Sorry, I just did the sigh and Hollow Knight popped in my head.
No.
Oh, Papanada.
Yeah. Well, it sounded so natural. I was trying to figure out where it came from.
How fares the port? Well, it's in shambles, isn't it? The trade routes are open once more now that the danger has passed, certainly. But no small number of merchants have had to sell their ships to make ends meet in the short term. Add to that the sailors we lost in the final days, and it's little wonder the flow of exports is no more than a pitiful trickle. If Kasla and his consortium were still with us, I'm sure he'd have found a way to turn our fortunes around. Now that was a man who got things done, God rest his souls. Ah, my advisor's return. I've just made it back myself. Why do you retain this vessel now that your true form is known? You could have flown across the island in a fraction of the time. Be that as it may, the sight of a massive creature descending from the sky can be startling to say the least, and there are few places I can enter comfortably without risk of flattening some cart or stall. Fair enough. As for my inquiries, the people of Palakistan were unanimous in their reply. They are surviving. Resources were stretched to the limit when refugees were pouring in, but they preserved with some assistance from Yadamat. From what I understand, they have always been an independent community, hunters and foragers, and the like, and I was assured that the jungle provides to their needs for the most part. Palakistan has weathered the disaster better than most, it seems. I myself heard good news and bad. The quarrymen were cautiously optimistic, having just sold a full wagon of giant skulls to a foreign trader, but such visitors are few and far between. Compared to our best years, the weight of stone leaving Thadmir has been light indeed. Our nation is small and isolated, its prosperity dependent on a steady stream of exports. We must identify any obstacles to the flow of trade so we may begin work to remove them. Tell me, what did you learn in Alkal and Yilmaz? Wolf made a pun, by the way, that I'm refusing to acknowledge.
Stab him in his big toe.
I see. Without a dedicated binder, the average fisherman must struggle to offload his daily catch. Which is why I believe we should address the lack of ship and storage of able-bodied sailors in Yilmed. I am reminded of a child I spied as I made my way back to the palace. His father lost at sea when the beast sunk their vessel. So many variations of the same tragic tale, repeated over and over. So many lives lost. Wolf, that was still a terrible pun. Just letting you know. That was... Enough grief to drown in if we let ourselves be overcome. But we will not. Vamron, Estinian, I will consider the perspective you've brought me and devise a plan to help my people comfort the adversity. Yes, there are non-terrible puns.
For sure.
Come, I would like you to be in attendance when I announce the proposal to my assembled functionaries?
I thank you for your attendance. The riches the Radiant Host have retrieved were hoarded in Al-Zadar's name. A fortune I set aside for a future day of need. And lo, that day hath come. May it aid our wounded city in reclaiming its vibrancy and vigor. In better times, I would leave such a task to our capable Ahawan. God's rest his soul. Finding myself bereft of his counsel in the here and now, I will assume the responsibilities of mine office directly. Firstly, the treasure shall be sold for more convenient currency, thence invested into the trading port of Yedlamad. Our merchants must have their operations restored, their ships rebuilt. Commerce must were spared the tragedy of the final days. Of this, I am well aware. But an absence was created by the loss of Karazal's consortium. And by filling it, we provide new means for our fishermen, our artisans, and others to bring their wares to distant markets.
And what of the children who were left without family to care for them?
That is a concern which weigheth heavily upon my mind. The simple gift of coin will soon be exhausted, leaving these young souls adrift on the fringes of our society. Nay, a proper solution is needed, one which doth guarantee their welfare for years to come. Thou hast surely seen how other nations rise to meet this challenge, adventurer. What dost thou deem the wisest course?
I note to break away from the seriousness of the story that's kind of going on. See, those are good puns. Those are good ones.
Of course, we can draw on trading profits to build a new institution. Let us put this idea into practice. A contract shall be written, requiring all who receive of Al-Zadal's treasure to commit a portion of their future earnings towards the running of an orphanage. Now, such an influential policy is deserving of a worthy name. A fitting candidate. Karazal should be remembered not as the blasphemy which terrorized Thavne, but as a hard-working and generous man who brought much wealth to our shores. Do any among you object to this proposition? Many here lost loved ones to the beasts.
In that time of strife, any one of us could have broken. Any one of us may have been taken by despair. When I think of Kalzal, I feel no hatred. Only a stinging regret that we could not save him as well. Isn't that right, men?
I have this one dude with
This
like a
bodes
Giga
well.
Chad chin.
Boy, Narad was it? Perhaps he can cut ties with that shady peddler.
Then let it be done. Henceforth, this initiative shall be known as the Kalzal Foundation. Nabdeen, thou art to assemble a patrol and ensure that no child in this city liveth in squalor. Clerks, see to the management of our funds and make haste. Our citizens must not suffer a day more than is necessary.
Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter morrow. Reminded of Ishgard.
Thank you for putting forth Kazel's name. Those who, those whose lives he. Oh, you'll forgive me for not speaking sooner, but I bear a message from Arcania Stola. She asks that you meet her at the High Crucible at your earliest convenience. Understood. Thank you. Stola may have finished her studies of the Void Gate. Shall we hear what she has to say then? I'm the best FIFA player? I will go with you. I thought the satrap would be too busy setting up the foundation. My clerks have been the well-oiled cogs of this administration since before Ottoman assumed the office. They understand what needs to be done. And I am curious to learn what conclusions your Archon has reached concerning the gate's unique construction. As you wish. Allow me to lead the way, Your Excellency. But yeah, Vic was telling me about that new WoW expansion, and I do truly hope the best for it. I really do. I know I will not be joining it in it though. Oh, poor Gamma. like 4 months.
Got it.
I only give it 4 months. You'll be single for 4 months.
You discovered something new.
I don't know, it's pretty hardcore.
I took a closer look at that device. I was able to determine how it keeps the Void Gate sealed, but not how it might instead be employed to expand the opening. For that, I would need to reference the technique developed by Vritra's alchemists, no records of which appear to have survived the intervening years.
We know this, so why have you sent for us? Have you learned aught of value or not?
Patience, good sir. One must introduce the subject before launching into specifics. From what we understand, travel between worlds is accomplished by passing through the nebulous rift which exists between them. Picture, if you will, the moment you were called to the first. You touched a focus of some kind to help the Exarch pinpoint your location. His summoning spell then channeled the energies of the Crystal Tower to begin your journey to his world. The magics tore a hole in the wall separating source and shard, and cast you into the intervening nothingness. In that place, the laws of nature hold no sway. Yet even through this realm of temporal and spatial instability, you were borne safely to your destination in the first. The feat that guided you across such an unimaginable distance, both physical and metaphorical, was nothing short of a miracle.
Then what of the many Voidsent found in the source? Who guides them here, and how?
An excellent question. Though there are several methods by which the Void's denizens might intrude upon our world, the rituals of summoning are the most typical. For example, let us consider the Gargoyle, a creature of middling power.
Well,
To call upon such an entity, the prospective summoner must force open a void gate. The portal lasts but a moment and is relatively small, allowing only an imp or other lesser being to squeeze through with their physical body intact. Our more powerful gargoyle, however, is too large for that. Creating a gate big enough for him would require vast amounts of energy, far beyond the reserves of any one mortal practitioner. Instead, 'tis far more common to bring over only the entity's soul. We had a taste of that ourselves when a certain Exarch dragged us to the first. And just as our bodies remained in our world, the Voidsent's physical form is left behind in the 13th. Once at its destination, the summoned soul is granted a temporary shell to inhabit. In the gargoyle's case, a stone effigy has proven a suitable vessel.
Wait. You said that Voidsent must be called here deliberately by someone in the source, reeled in like a fisherman with his catch.
Exactly. For a being to navigate the chaos of the rift, with or without form, there must needs be a guiding agent on the other side.
When the hordes poured forth from Alag's Great Gate, it was the technologists who drew them through. Though to my knowledge, planar fissures are in essence natural passages between our world and the void, which require no such guidance to traverse. Why is only the boundary between the Source and the 13th so fragile? So much so that it often tears open of its own accord.
I believe solving that mystery is key to understanding travel between the Source and its reflections.
And how do you intend to get your answers?
No, the danger is too great.
Perhaps. But what some call danger, others think of as adventure.
Were you not listening to my tale? Never mind that the means to expand the gate has been lost to the ages. Even could you force the portal wide enough, you would be greeted by an army of murderous horrors the very instant you step through.
I assure you I was most attentive. And I agree that to go alone would be certain death. But if I were to bring along one who has already braved the 13th and humbled the cloud of darkness, well, I imagine my chances would be much improved.
Oh yeah, count me in.
I had a feeling you might say that. Once again, I put my life in your ever-reliable hands. That said, as much as I would like to march straight back to the Void Gate, there is the small matter of being unable to open it without the Satrap's personal authority.
As I've said before, I will grant you and yours any boon you choose to name, provided it does not endanger my people.
You have my word that we will take every precaution. Not a single Void Scent will be allowed to threaten Radzatan, assuming we manage to expand the portal in the first place.
You have a plan.
Actually, I had hoped you might help us with that. I presume the alchemists you retained supplied you with some explanation of their methodology.
That they did. House Daimir was overseeing the project.
Daimir. Ah, yes. The family associated with the great work.
I did not fully comprehend the theory, but their research began with a void scent which had slipped through the fissure. After a thorough examination, they created an arcane simulacrum possessed of similar qualities. A man-made void scent, if you will. It was apparently indispensable in their efforts to enlarge the gate.
A man-made void scent.
Yes. Being great admirers of the Archons, House Daimir submitted detailed notes to Charlene's official committee. They expected praise and accolades for their simulacrum, and were thus devastated to be informed that their work had been classified as prohibited material.
If that's true, then those notes might still be stored in a forbidden archive somewhere. Not Google, of course, since that library had yet to be built. Which leaves us with...
with the restricted section.
Yes, it may very well hold a copy.
I know Gamma is a place I desperately want to go.
In which case, I say we head directly to Charlian.
Need to go there and humble Nick a little bit.
Unless you anticipate needing help to reach the high shelves, I see myself being of little use. Go on ahead. Still need to find Mirad and tell him about the Kalzal Foundation.
Let us be on our way as well.
They are resolved to venture into the void. Do I sit idly by?
To Charlian. Yeah, go there, humble Nick. It's been a while since he got his ass beat, so I needed to kind of be like, all right, bro. Remember who you are. If we're to enter Nomenon, restricted archives with a minimum of fuss, then we must secure the permission of the Four. First, however, we shall need to enlist the cooperation of a member to broach the matter on our behalf. Who do you think might be inclined to assist us? No one springs to mind? What of Scholar Montague? He did come to Raha's defense during the inquiry, after all. 'Tis set. Let us head to Phenomonian and see if he's willing to help us once more. Oh, nice. That's actually pretty awesome, Gamma. Well, they gave what pretty much almost every player wanted this patch, baby.
Oh?
Yep.
What's that?
Essentially a date with Justola.
I mean... Stola really is big.
She is. I apprenticed to Master Matoya at the age of 7, and labored under her tutelage for a full decade. I never had the chance to attend the studium. Neither did Thancred, as I recall. Soon after Master Louis Swat took him in off the streets, he was put in the care of another Archon. His was a rigorous and practical education in the arts of espionage and survival. I sometimes wonder what my life might have been like had I pursued studies here instead. Tea at the last stand after a day of lectures. Oh, that does sound lovely. Afternoons with friends, spent sipping tea and debating theories. Still, I won't give up my time with Master Matoya for the world. The dank cave I studied in was about as far from the bright, airy halls of academia as one could get. But it was wondrous, magical childhood nonetheless. Alright. Person whose name I cannot pronounce.
Monta Chang.
Thanks. Ah, visitors, and quite esteemed ones at that. What may I do for you? Pray, forgive the intrusion, Scholar, but we are hoping you might help us secure permission to enter Nomernon restricted archives. Oh, no further forays into the stacks this time, eh? I applaud this newfound sense of propriety. Though, yet in all this wide world of comparative serenity, what so compels you to disturb a vault of forbidden wisdom?
You know, Tuesdays.
Say, we're looking to go to hell. That's all.
What's it to you, bro? Mind your business.
Fascinating. I had no idea such a technique existed. I would have been surprised if you had. If my assumption is correct, the research left behind by House Demir has lain dormant in Charlene's archives for many centuries. And if you unearth this research, what then? Surely you don't intend to cross over into the void. That is, in fact, precisely what we intend.
Thanks, Stola.
To what end, pray tell? To develop a method of traversing the rift, for one, that I might keep my word to a distant friend. Sentiment aside, I have journeyed to the end of existence. I have heard, felt, and thought endlessly about the truth of our world and the echoes of its future. And yet I want to understand everything, to unravel it all down to its very last secret. What scholar worthy of the name won't force open a void gate or two if a grand revelation was the promised reward? Marvelous. An audacious proposal worthy of Master Matoya herself. And after hearing the whys and the wherefores, I for one do not believe you would use the knowledge of ill. I see no reason not to present your request to the forum consideration. Although your petition would be better received if you also had the support of another well-placed acquaintance. Why, Master Falchinaut, of course. He can hardly ignore an earnest request from his dear children's most treasured comrades. I was hesitant to approach him directly, but there is no denying that having Master Falchinaut on our side would tip the balance in our favor. Very well. We will pay a visit to the Levier estate and plead our case. One last thing before you go. I would consider it a personal favor if you might spare with me the discoveries you make in the void. My appetite for knowledge is every bit as unsatiable as yours, I'd wager. So if you could see your way to indulging an old man's curiosity. Of course, Scholar. We will be sure to pass on any revelations. Oh, taking the long way around, apparently, because I missed the doors. Let's go to our frenemy's place.
Hold in front of me.
I mean, I still don't like that guy.
Who?
Alfie and Alice's dad.
Ugh.
Also, this song hurts my soul every time I hear it.
Soul.
My soul. Yeah. When you get further in the story, you'll get it. But
I mean, I can't hear the song anymore.
okay, but
I don't have any headphones on.
you'll run through these people's grass. That's what I think, though.
Oh, rude ass.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn! I know your game was missing.
It was. Ah, Master Vamron, Mistress Shistola, how may I be of service? We've come to speak with Master Fosnal. Is he home, by any chance? Yes, the Master is in residence. I shall inform him that he has guests.